Hello everyone, my name is Cynthia Jaris. Now I will explain about the journal with the title Analyzing the Speaking and Writing Competence of an Indonesian Student in the USA, a case study. This is the table of contents. There's introduction, method, finding and discussion, and also its conclusion. In introduction, English in Indonesia is still viewed as a difficult language to learn due to the different structure and grammar from Bahasa Indonesia. The way it is spoken and written has become the primary problem of Indonesian students in learning English. Furthermore, the diversity of dialects and cultural background of people across Indonesia also makes it difficult to learn. The anxiety is caused by the fear of negative evaluation of being criticized in depending too much words appear in the PowerPoint presentation, which many researchers and academics do in seminar and conference language. Language barrier was one of the biggest challenges for them who pursue their degrees in the English-speaking country. It affects their performance in the classroom discussion due to their limitation in vocabulary, grammar, accent, and fluency. In terms of writing based on the problem mentioned, a case study was conducted to evaluate the communicative competence of a researcher who is studying in the United States. Uh, there is the theory of communicative competence, or we call with CC. The proposed part of the CC into social culture, discourse, linguistic, formulaic, interactional, and strategic competence. Social culture competence is related to the social and cultural context of communication. Discourse competence is about how to select, sequence, and arrange word, structure, and utterance in order to integrate a spoken message. Linguistic competence refers to four types of knowledge: phonological or sounds, lexical or vocabulary, morphological or parts of speech, and syntactic or word order or sentence structure. And let's formulate competence defines those chunks of language that speakers frequently use in everyday interaction. Interactional competence means how to perform common speech like in the target language in conversation and interaction. And strategic competence encompasses technique for dealing with difficulties and limitation in using English, such as gesture and memorization. In method, uh, there is a setting and participant. The participant of this study was a 33-year-old researcher working in one of government institution in Indonesia and was studying in a university in the United States. He used Bahasa Indonesia both at home and work, but spoke English during his study in the US. He began studying English when he was in junior high school, and he has spent most of the time in Indonesia. At the time, the participant felt like communicating in English was quite challenging. When communicating with local people, there were a fear that even though he understood what this had said, they did not understand what he had said or what opinion or idea he had delivered, especially in classroom discussion. However, he was trying to speak with a gesture and the help of his body language. Indeed, body language and gesture are strategic competence in sustaining communication, compensating for limited knowledge, and helping improvement. Then, for data collection analysis, to collect the data about the participant ability in speaking and writing, he was given spoken and written text in a IELTS, like a text format. In the writing text, the participant was asked to write two models of the IELTS, like writing test, academic, and general training. Since the participant is a researcher, the academic writing was intended to investigate his ability in formulating language in scientific and academic areas, while the general training writing was intended to investigate his ability in writing in social context. In collecting data for the speaking text, the researcher employed Skype application to conduct an interview. Due to the considerable distance between the researcher and the participant. Finding and discussion. First one is speaking text evaluation. The researcher conducted a virtual interview with the participant through Skype, the video Skype application. The video format was advantageous as it recorded both audio and visual interaction between the researcher and the participant, so reducing constraint in transcribing. In speaking text evaluation, there are social cultural competence, discourse competence, linguistic competence, formulaic competence, and interactional competence. In social cultural competence, based on the interview, it was found that the participant had sense of politeness in responding to the author request. One aspect of social cultural competence is to react in a cultural acceptable and appropriate way within the context. For discourse competence, during the interview, the participant was successful in connecting words using conjunction when talking and managed to be coherent in delivering his idea. This means that the participant failed to demonstrate one important point of CC, as mistakenly using pronouns can cause misunderstanding and misinterpretation. Then linguistic competence. Some grammatical and lexical errors were produced by the participant, such as subject and verb agreement, tense, part of speech, clauses, and common errors in constructing sentence. Formulaic competence. There were interesting chunks of words spoken by the participant, which were related to the formulaic competence. The participant used the phrase something like that, and yeah, I think that's all. The use of formulaic language was largely neglected until the issue was brought to wider attention in research. In interactional competence, when asked by the interviewer, the participant described his feeling and opinions by using sentences like, I have no idea, I think, I prepare, I can't imagine. This is called action competence and is part of interactional competence, where our learners exchange information regarding his information, feeling, opinion, problem, and expression during communication. Strategic competence. Strategic competence device where he show hesitation and produce the sound in order to take time to recall vocabulary or construct sentence. And there is also writing text evaluation. In the writing text evaluation, the test was sent by email and they were answered and typed by the participant in the format of Microsoft Word. The written data was taken by this method due to the distance between the author and the participant. In social cultural competence, similarly, the participant successfully delivered his idea by depicting the society and culture in Indonesia in the written text. Discover competence. The written data obtained was considered coherent as both tasks describe real-world example as shown in the AW Part 2. Formulaic competence, the participant mostly used word chunks for academic situation. And in linguistic competence, there were several error found in the written text assigned to the participant. Firstly, subject and verb agreement errors were located in EW parts 1 and 2, as well as GTW part 2. And interactional competence, AW and GTW part 2 required the participant to give opinions, and he performed well in the argumentative text, which is interactional. And for strategic competence, in AW Part 2, the participant used the word as we know to strategize how he delivered his idea to reader as the effort of interact. interacting. It was found that the participant also paraphrased the sentence in the question into simple one. And the last one is conclusion. The study focused on the analysis of the communicative competence of an Indonesian student who is studying in one of university in the USA. The main focus was the speaking and writing competence. The competence were evaluated by the theory of communicative competence suggested by Celce-Morcia, 2008, which consists of social cultural competence, discourse competence, formulaic competence, linguistic competence, interactional competence, and strategic competence. The theory of CC is assumed to be in with knowledge, skill, and human action. Through data analysis, it can be concluded that the participant demonstrated well in the CCs both in speaking and writing. Despite some limitation found in his work, especially regarding grammar, which is related to linguistic competence. So that's all from me. Thank you and see you.